Hello, I'm Greg with Primal Rights. Today we're going to talk about dry firing rim fires. This is brought on by interaction with a customer of Primal Rights that has a Zermatt Arms Rim X action on one of our fantastic 22 long rifle barrels. And I received a picture with a just horrific dent in the side of the 22 long rifle chamber. Now, it's long been held that dry firing a 22 long rifle, or any rimfire for that matter, is an extraordinarily bad idea, because this can happen, where the firing pin will hit out on the edge, and because it's a rimfire, it's hitting on the edge of the chamber rather than just hollow open space in the back of a centerfire chamber, and that hit on the edge of the chamber can peen the metal and cause a protrusion or a dent to form and push material out into the chamber. This will make feeding, chambering, and subsequent could-be firing and ejection or extraction problems. And bottom line, it's a very bad thing to happen. Now, modern rimfire designs, a lot of them have come a long way where they will not allow this. So the geometry of the fire control group components is designed as such that the firing pin cannot actually physically contact the chamber. It'll keep a fair distance away. And so when I saw this picture, I was very puzzled. Like, I know that the Zermatt Arms Rim X has been designed with these features in mind so that the firing pin tip cannot hit the chamber. And I was very perplexed by this. Upon further investigation, we found the cause of this issue, and I'm going to go into that in detail and show you exactly how that happened here today and teach you how to avoid this problem as a Rim X owner. So here we have a Rim X bolt. This is out of a 17 WSM, but all of this will apply whether you have a 17 WSM, 17 HMR, or 22 long rifle. What we want to do here is demonstrate that the Rim X definitely cannot contact a properly installed chamber. The idea here is that in its fired position, the firing pin tip does not protrude past the end of the bolt nose. And so it's physically impossible for it to hit the chamber. And so I was wondering, how did it happen? How did this gentleman peen his chamber with the Rim X? We'll go ahead and just take the fire control group out of the bolt here. And you can see how the firing pin tip is held on here. The shape, it's basically just tucked underneath this little E-clip looking thing. And the shape dictates that it's captured. So if I pull on here, it doesn't come off. But if I tilt it up, I can pull it off there by tilting it up and off. And you can see the geometry on the back of that firing pin tip. Well, what happens is, right in here, the firing pin tip will break with repeated dry fires. And so, based on known instances of this happening, it happens somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 dry fires. And so if you dry fire with this tip installed enough, this will break somewhere in here, and that will allow your firing pin tip to move forward and protrude too far out the bolt face. For best results, if you're going to be doing a lot of dry firing, it's best to just remove this, and it's very simple, as you saw, the bayonet style design that they have, and just pull the fire control group out of the back of the bolt body, pry the firing pin tip off there, and then reinstall this. And this would be a little tougher because it's a 17 WSM, but you can still get it in there with your hands. And in this configuration, without the firing pin tip, it will be able to be dry fired almost unlimited in this configuration. So when we are removing the firing pin tip and then dry firing, the end of the actual firing pin itself is contacting inside here. and it is stopping. So this is the recommended way to dry fire your rim X's, folks. This will keep that firing pin tip healthy, and it'll keep that firing pin tip from breaking and then subsequently damaging your chamber.